Welcome. I am Quentin Gerard Caldwell, independent candidate for governor of West Virginia. We're just going to jump right into it. It is April 7th, 2020. It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, and we just want to thank you for joining the live broadcast today. We only have about 15 minutes, so I'm going to just try and move forward as fast as I can and try and share with you as much as our platform as possible. I do believe that there's no greater way to give back to a state which has welcomed you with open arms than by giving back through public service. I do believe that. Now, let's get right to the meat of it. If our elected officials refuse to listen to the sick and suffering people, and not decriminalize cannabis in our beloved state, then we must vote them out of office now. So my first official act as governor is action towards the decriminalization of marijuana in our state and the remittance of all marijuana charges. Now, I'm not running against any party or personality, but for the future of Best Virginia. Now, with your help, I will be running again as an independent candidate for governor of West Virginia 2020, which will allow me to work earnestly with both parties. Now, I do love the state and the people who truly make it home. Let's be clear, I am not former President Obama. Again, I am Quentin Gerard Caldwell, independent write-in candidate for governor of West Virginia. Now, I knew as a child when I heard John Denver sing about West Virginia that I would one day call this place home, which I have done for the past 13 years. And I, like so many of our citizens, believe wholeheartedly that education is key to the future. Now, it is our only hope, and I believe that if we structure our schools collectively and design curriculum to what our students desire to become, that we will have a more receptive school population. An educated our citizenry is a more sound and productive populace. I love it. I do believe that together that we can put the parent back into parenting, and we're starting to see some of that happening while we are under the stay-at-home mandate from our governor. Okay, so we definitely have to give parents the tools to be active in their child's education. So we have to support them and stand with them during this time and after. And yes, hold them accountable. Now, our teachers also need to be held to an even higher standard, or should I say our present education czars or administration. They're lacking in certain areas. So, with that said, again, our teachers need to be held to an even higher standard as they are the architects of the future. Now, it breaks my heart to once again be faced with the challenge, because it is my challenge if I plan on running, figuring out why we are always last in the nation. I am glad that we are last in one thing, that we don't have 5G as of yet. And I'll get into that conspiracy theory, as some call it, later. But we will address it. We barely have 4G in the mountains, which may be something that is saving us as well. Okay. Our children must be challenged as well as instructed and educated at all levels of development. Now, we can't approach our young people's future, nor should we encourage, we must also discourage them from there's this cavalier attitude. We must respect and support the countless unsung heroes raising other people's kids in spite of. Business as usual is failing us, so I have proposed $10 an hour minimum pay adjustment for all workers. And no, I'm not proposing to rewarding people for the poor job that some have done. An investment in our children is a wise investment in the future. So I do propose a $25 an hour minimum for all West Virginia teachers and service workers. Now, I will explore ways to restructure and rebuild the Board of Education. addressing union issues, prevailing wage, and the right to work. I am a firm believer in an honest day's wage for an honest day's labor. Now, I am reaching out to make a better West Virginia for us all. That's why I ask that you share the hashtag Best Virginia 2020. I do propose opening West Virginia for business at the appropriate time, opening it to business, especially small business and entrepreneurship. Now, as this indomitable state has proven time and time again, its natural beauty and the warm, open hearts of her inhabitants have won over visitors from all over the world. So how about this? How about a world-class tree house or a cannabis resort? Does that make sense? I think it's a great idea when we can continue to capitalize on the beauty of our state. Okay? Like I said, that's where my head's at, and it's just an idea. Nothing's written in stone. We are just exploring some options. That's why I constantly come on Facebook. And I do want to thank Spreaker. I do want to thank iHeartRadio. I want to thank Google for this platform, for me to come to you live. So, yes, show your support. Don't want to get sidetracked. We do have a few minutes left in the broadcast. Okay. What when I'm talking about tourism, not just a cannabis resort or a treehouse resort, perhaps maybe an indoor sports or even a multi-purpose arena would help add a tourism aspect to our state economy. If you can, I'd like you to go check out, it's called enterthemepark.com. They one of the world's largest theme park developers. They're like Disney, Six Flags, MGM resorts. I think it would be really great. It would definitely create jobs. It would increase tourism, and it would also support infrastructure. Now, little known fact, West Virginia is home to one of the few publicly owned minor league football teams, the West Virginia Coal Miners. We need to have, and we can do it. We've always had that dream. We can have our own team. We can have an NFL team. Now, not even to mention the multiple privately owned teams always making our state proud. Now, as I have learned to love this state more and more and meet her fine people, I've also learned of the significant role that Native Americans have played in our history. And as a part of my platform to make West Virginia both more prosperous and self-sufficient, we must acknowledge and honor our past. And in this spirit, I am continuing to propose a Native American Remembrance Day to be added to the state calendar. I propose also a 10% flat tax for all, so everybody knows we know what we're paying. So we know what we're getting back. I strongly support the notion that all West Virginians have an emergency bug-out bag. I've been saying that for years. And a plan of escape. Explain what your route is, which is known to all communities. I want to hold all county officials accountable to make sure that information gets out to their people in their county. And as I am a strong supporter, and, I'm an online retailer. I got a couple of online clothing stores, businesses. I have the clown business, sign dancing. So as a strong supporter of local business and agriculture, again, I do propose the immediate decriminalization of both cannabis and hemp. For both medicinal and recreational applications. And I do propose a judicial review for, again, the remittal of cases involving marijuana. Now, the state I do believe, partner with West Virginia local farmers and cultivators here in West Virginia can then lease or share crop these plots. Now, certain considerations should be given to established farmers, who are willing to diversify and cash in on our newest cash crop in an effort to keep our money in our state. Now, I had proposed to start by purchasing the town of, you remember, Sugar Grove, West Virginia. Now, someone already purchased that town, but it's okay. Yes, let me be clear. I am a Christian and do believe, according to the Bible, that the leaves are truly for the healing of the nations. You don't believe it, you can read it for yourself. You can go to Revelations 22:2. Okay, so I'll never lie to you about who I am, and I don't need any help telling on myself. Okay, as a lot of you know, I've been an online adult entertainer as well. So when some say that I don't have a chance because I'm throwing it out there, doing full disclosure, I've chosen not to hide and tell the truth about myself. Which makes me think of this passage of scripture, that reads, sometimes we hold ourselves up, holding on to the past, wondering why that we can't move forward into the wonderful blessings that God has for us. Listen, forget those things that are behind you and press toward, run, stay focused on the prize ahead of you. I believe let go and let, Philippians, 3:13. As a believer in the word, I believe this tells us to put the past behind us where it belongs and to focus on the glistening promise of tomorrow. Now, I do believe that a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. I am single. Now, does that make me a hypocrite because I say I'm a Christian? No, it just means that I'm human and I'm looking for his companionship as well. So let me just throw this out there. I pray and I ask God for his forgiveness of my